Good morning, everyone. The FDA has authorized new COVID-19 booster doses, the first that target the highly contagious Omicron strain that is right now the most strain in circulation. The hope is that they will be effective at preventing a predicted winter surge. Nancy Chen has that story.
Newly formulated COVID-19 booster shots could be available in just a matter of days after the FDA gave its authorization Wednesday.
I will be at the front of the line at the pharmacy getting my vaccination. I'm very confident about this.
Pfizer and Moderna's updated boosters are known as bivalent vaccines. They combine components from the original vaccine with components designed to target the widely circulating Omicron subvariants BA4 and BA5.
The hope here is that by increasing the amount of antibodies we have to that particular variant, we will restore the kind of protection that we had when we first saw these vaccines launched and hopefully stave off the coming wave of COVID-19 predicted by scientific models.
Moderna's booster is for Americans 18 and older. Pfizer's for 12 and older. People could get either booster just 2 months after receiving their last shot of the COVID vaccine. The FDA authorized the new formulations without waiting for the results from human clinical trials. But health experts argue the process is no different than what they do for other vaccines.
While we have little safety data, just like the flu shot comes out every year, and it really is tested as we give it, we're going to do the same here. So we think it's close enough to the original COVID-19 vaccine. It's the same outer shell, slightly different spike protein, that it is going to be safe.
The CDC still needs to sign off, but once the modified boosters are available, the FDA says you can get them at the same time as your annual flu shot. Nancy Chen, CBS News, New York.
And Pfizer plans to submit a request to the FDA in October for giving the new booster to children as young as 5 years old. Well, federal drug officials are warning about rainbow fentanyl and a new trend that is emerging across the U.S. Trinity Chavez tells us how the dangerous drug is now made it look like candy to attract children and young people.
The Drug Enforcement Administration is alerting the public of an alarming trend, releasing these images of colorful fentanyl, also being called rainbow fentanyl. The pills and powder come in bright colors, shapes, and sizes. Fred Munch is with the Partnership to End Addiction.
The game has changed in terms of pills and powder now because they are laced with fentanyl. And getting the word out is so important because the users are unsuspecting. They don't know that they're taking a pill with fentanyl in it.
Federal drug officials say the so-called rainbow fentanyl appears to be a new method from the drug cartels to appeal to young people. This month alone, law enforcement has seized rainbow fentanyl in 18 states. Statistics show fentanyl is the deadliest drug threat facing the United States. More than 107,000 Americans died of drug overdoses in 2021. 66% of those deaths were related to synthetic opioids like fentanyl.
Unfortunately, it's getting worse. We're seeing more and more fentanyl coming in. Traditional opioids are falling off the radar of them because it's so much cheaper to use fentanyl.
Knowing the dangers of using counterfeit prescription pills.
Last year, the DEA launched an awareness campaign educating Americans about how just one pill can kill. Trinity Chavez, CBS News, New York.
Drug poisonings are the leading killer of Americans between the ages of 18 and 45. If you plan to travel over the holiday weekend, you're not by yourself. A recent survey from AAA finds about a third of Americans plan to travel for the Labor Day holiday. As Elise Preston reports, costs for the end of summer vacation are coming down, but disruptions are still an issue.
Ashlyn Schaefer did plenty of research to find the best deal for her trip to New York.
I booked early, so that helped. I also took a red eye, so that helped cut down some of the cost.
Airline ticket prices are getting cheaper.
Airfare prices are the lowest that they've been since February of this year.
Haley Berg is with the travel site Hopper.
We saw airfare really take off this spring and summer with prices peaking over $400 per ticket. But airfare in August is down to about $286 per round trip ticket. And that's below 2019 prices.
The travel app Hopper predicts close to 13 million Americans will fly during the Labor Day weekend. For frequent flyer Eris Marganon, it's already been a summer of travel issues.
We did get like 3 flights delayed.
And we expect that to continue through Labor Day weekend. Today, about 1 in 4 flights are being delayed on departure, and about 3 to 4% of flights are being canceled.
Experts say booking the earliest flight out in the morning can help you avoid delays, and they advise getting a direct flight so you don't run the risk of missing a connection. Most Labor Day travelers will drive and are seeing some relief at the gas pump. The national average for a gallon is down more than $1 from June's record highs.
I haven't seen prices like that since, last year.
Hopper says car rental prices are down about 20% in the past 2 months, but still higher than last year. People who can vacation after Labor Day may find some good deals. Travel experts expect prices to drop in September and October, then go back up before the holidays. Elise Preston, CBS News, LaGuardia Airport, New York.
The busiest days to travel, according to Hopper, are on Fridays. All right, so if you are able to keep a tradition alive for 44 years, you're probably doing something right. We're talking about festival season, and West Point is hosting its 44th annual Prairie Arts Festival. That's happening Saturday. You can expect over 200 vendors that will feature fine arts, some handmade crafts. There will be live music and activities for children. There will also be a car show in front of Mossy Oak. With that 9 a.m. start time, organizers say this is perfect for you to stop and enjoy the community event before you catch the Bulldogs season opener again, which is also tomorrow. All right, coming up in this is a story we found about a rooster crowing contest. Take a look.
There was certainly something to crow about in the poultry barn Wednesday morning.
They don't just crow in the morning for fun. I mean, it's really a territorial thing. They're letting people know that I'm here, and then they hear another rooster say, I'm here, and then another one says, I'm here.
Håkan Vodland is a third-generation crowing coach, and this is his 50th year showing and raising birds to crow and compete. He knows these birds better than anyone.
There's just a lot of satisfaction and joy, and I don't need a therapist. And I can talk to my chickens. Sometimes I sing to my chickens.
His job on competition day is to help all the birds competing feel more comfortable to crow as many times as they can in 30 minutes. Volunteers from the crowd count how many times each bird squawks.
On competition, sometimes they get shy, and that's my job, is to try to encourage them and say, it's showtime.
3, 2, 1, 0.
Vodland is coaxing the roosters to make some noise.
Right on cue. And so I try to get my heart into the chicken. I try to get my mind with the chicken. That's a challenge sometimes because they have a small brain.
Each volunteer gets to name their bird. 9-year-old Josie named hers Dynamic Dave. And on the other end of the table, Jennifer named her bird Buster. At the end of 30 minutes, it came down between these two birds, but Buster pulled through with one final crow, winning 32-31.
Buster and I, he took it home, but the crowd really helped him. They encouraged. He really responded well to the cheering.
Well, it was kind of nerve-wracking, but it was also very fun.
One bird, appropriately named Silent Bob, never crowed once the entire competition.
I just want to hear what he sounded like, but just not his day. Low performance anxiety happens to everybody.
These roosters attracted quite the crowd, which is good because they tend to crow through a clap.
This is where state fair memories are made, right at the poultry barn.
All right, when we come back, riding to success. Mid-morning, we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. In the city of brotherly love, there is a growing affection for an unlikely sport, polo. It's helping keep young people safe, and it's introducing many to a whole new world. Here's Anne Marie Green with that story.
Not far from some of Philadelphia's toughest neighborhoods.
It's just a little patch of heaven.
Polo champion Kareem Rosser learned to play the sport as a child at the Chamonix Equestrian Center.
I'm from a place in Philly, it's called The Bottom. It's probably one of the worst parts of the city.
The Work to Right program here took Rosser from the bottom, well, to the top.
Being able to go to military school and go to college and play polo at the highest level, and the number of ways it probably saved me from, ending up dead in the streets in Philadelphia.
At Chamonix, children learn the sport of kings, but those in the Work to Right program don't need a king's ransom. In exchange for rigorous work at the stables, they get lessons for free.
I fell off a few times. I guess that just kind of boosted my confidence.
Falling off boosted your confidence?
I don't know. I guess because I fell off like a lot of times, it kind of just like made me braver.
17-year-old Alyssa Perrin is preparing for the city's first ever polo classic next month. Matches organized by Work to Ride.
Do you hope it inspires a few people?
I really, really hope that there are little boys and girls in the crowd that look just like us, that are just like, I can do this.
Nice! Because she's learned some of the most important goals are scored off the field. Anne-Marie Green, CBS News, Philadelphia.
Winning an NBA championship comes with a lot of perks. There are parades, trophies, and of course the championship ring. Jamie Yukas introduces us to one former champion using his rings to help the children of Ukraine.
Slava Medvedenko played alongside Shaq and Kobe, winning back-to-back championships with the LA Lakers. And he's got bling to show for it.
What did the rings mean to you before February?
A lot.
Tell me why you're selling them.
Because I want to help my country.
Everything changed with Russia's invasion of Ukraine, Medvedenko's homeland, and where he remains. This week, his 2 rings are up for auction.
I just recognize I can die. These rings will just sit in a safe and cannot help me. I have to do something positive.
100% of the money from the sale will go to Medvedenko's Fly High Foundation.
To help kids, to move them in a safe place.
And once the war is over,
to rebuild and fix sport gyms in school, because 100 schools totally destroyed.
Why are sports so important to kids?
Sport, it's mentally rehabilitation.
So the simple things in life now really matter, not championship rings.
Yes, exactly.
A safe future for children of Ukraine. That has a nice ring to it. Jamie Yukas, CBS News.
Still to come, one penguin gets some new footwear. We'll show you just ahead on Mid Morning. All right, welcome back. Imagine being able to text or send an email using only your thoughts. It's more than just wishful thinking, and it's opening doors for potentially millions of people suffering from severe paralysis. CBS News Chief Medical Correspondent Dr. John LaPook explains.
At his home in Melbourne, Australia, 62-year-old Philip O'Keefe struggles to do the simple things many of us take for granted.
Getting dressed, washing myself, feeding myself.
ALS took away his ability to control his hands and body. When you heard that there was a device that could use your thoughts to operate a mouse, what did you think?
I thought, this is science fiction type stuff.
But it's not the realm of science fiction anymore. In April of 2020, O'Keefe became one of the first patients to receive a Stentrode brain-computer interface implant.
That's the device that goes inside the blood vessel.
Dr. Tom Oxley is CEO of New York City-based Synchron.
We've figured out how to deliver the sensors into the brain without open brain surgery.
Inserted through the jugular vein, the device is implanted in the area of the brain that controls movement. Signals captured by a receiver in the chest are sent wirelessly to a device that decodes thoughts into commands for a digital device.
The clinical study that we're running is purely for digital device control for people whose hands no longer control digital devices.
O'Keefe demonstrated his computer skills by writing me this note. His thoughts focused on a mouse clicking letter by letter.
I can sort my emails. I can surf the web.
Clinical trials are continuing, and so far, 5 people have received the implant, including one in New York City.
This gave me a reason to keep on living, and it's just been the most exciting 2 years of my life.
And that, to Philip O'Keefe, is mind-boggling. Dr. John LaPook, CBS News, New York.
A penguin at the San Diego Zoo now has some more pep in his step thanks to some creative new footwear. Bradley Blackburn has that story.
Lucas the penguin suffers from a chronic and painful condition called bumblefoot.
Lucas was not walking appropriately. He was showing a lot of tenderness on his left side, which is where his bumble is located.
But not anymore, thanks to a new pair of orthopedic boots made just for him.
I'm so excited that we've been able to do this for Lucas. Lucas was one of the first birds that I raised here at San Diego Zoo.
Caretakers say the boots attached with Velcro are cushioned and make walking less painful.
So we see him actually moving his toes when he walks now, which is something we hadn't seen in years.
Lucas and his newfound happy feet can now keep up with all the other penguins without a limp. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
I had to put happy feet in there. All right, the U.S. Postal Service is celebrating the man behind the beloved Peanuts comic strip with 10 new Forever stamps. Debuting in the 1950s, the comic became history's most popular and successful strip. For 5 decades, the cartoonist Charles Schulz wrote, drew, inked, and lettered every Peanut strip, nearly 18,000 of them, as a matter of fact. The Forever stamps commemorate the centennial of Schulz's birth. He would have turned 100 years old this year. You can purchase those stamps at USPS.com. All right, just ahead, an actor plays a chef on TV. How close is that to the real world? That story is next. All right, we're back. One of the summer's hottest streaming shows is the tense restaurant drama, The Bear. The hit show on Hulu follows chef Carmy Berzatto, played by actor Jeremy Allen White, that is. He previously spent 11 seasons on the series Shameless. White took Christina Ruffini back to his Brooklyn neighborhood to talk pizza, acting, and what makes chefs so sexy to so many people.
So tell us where we're going.
We're going to Luigi's here in Brooklyn.
When we asked actor Jeremy Allen White, star of the summer's hottest new chef show, to take us to a restaurant. So you do all this chef stuff. You learned all these chef skills. And your favorite restaurant is Pete's Place.
Yeah, I mean, this place means a lot to me.
A Brooklyn boy at heart, White has, rather ironically, made his career playing a certain type of guy from Chicago. First as Lip.
I want you out of this house.
The smart and smart mouth brother on Shameless.
Time to try the new sandwiches behind.
And now as Carmy on FX's The Bear.
Vargas rolls, please, chef.
An obsessive Michelin-caliber chef who moves back to Chicago after his brother's death to run the family sandwich shop.
It's the mixer. It's not the mixer, all right? It's crumbly. The oven's too dry. You need to fill a baking sheet with water, put it on the oven floor, throw in another batch, okay? Do my Just job. do it.
To prep for the part, White did a brief stint at culinary school.
Table 38, 2 people.
And worked in a high-end kitchen.
I learned how to hold the knife, hold the pan, open an oven, just like really simple stuff.
Like how to open an oven?
Sure, yeah, there's different ways you can open, definitely ways you close. A lot of people slam ovens. You never slam an oven shut.
And it's not just the set's real industrial ovens turning up the heat. The New York Post ran an article saying you are single-handedly responsible for making line cooks sexy. Are you prepared for that kind of responsibility?
It can't be single-handedly, but I'm happy to help for sure.
Giving the show's catchphrase,
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef, a whole new meaning.
It's very nice, but it's also embarrassing for me, I think.
Why are chefs hot? Is it because you guys know how to take orders?
I don't know. I mean, I think they take care of people.
Kind of their love language.
Yeah. Yeah.
In his real life, White is a married father of 2. He and his family now live just a short way away from where he grew up in Park Slope.
Lived here 1 to 8, and I actually got my arm stuck in here. Or
you got your arm stuck in the fence?
I got my arm completely stuck, couldn't get it out. And I was going to have to cut my arm off.
Despite that early flair for the dramatic, as a kid, White didn't want to be an actor. This is your school up here.
Yeah, right here. This is 51. This is where I started acting. I had a really wonderful teacher, and he introduced me to acting when I was in 7th grade. I had a really hard time in school. I had a hard time focusing. I still do. And there was something that happened when I was performing in Mr. McEnany's class, and I've been performing since, where I find real peace and focus when I'm on stage or performing in front of a camera. It feels good, yeah.
Like a walk down a familiar street. or a regular order from a favorite restaurant.
Pepperoni for you?
Yeah, always.
Giovanni, how many slices of pizza do you think he's eaten here in his lifetime?
I know, now he's buying them by the pies.
What I've learned about going to eat at these different restaurants and learned in the process of shooting the bear is it's not just the food, it's the presentation of the food, it's the service, it's an experience, it's a performance.
One that definitely calls for a few encores. Christina Ruffini, CBS News, Brooklyn, New York.
And we will be right back to wrap things up. Stay with us. All right, Survivor has announced its new cast. After 22 years on television, 620 episodes, 646 contestants, and 639 torch snuffs, Season 43 returns to launch a new chapter. 18 new castaways will be competing on this season. There's a 2-hour season premiere coming up on Wednesday, September 21st. That will be right here on WCBI. The contestants will be divided into 3 tribes of 6 and face a faster, more extreme season from the moment they step on the beach. The people competing this fall are from diverse backgrounds and bring a fresh perspective to this new era of the game, with the same ultimate goal, though, to outwit, outplay, and outlast. In the end, only one will remain to claim the title of sole survivor and, of course, win that coveted $1 million prize. All right, and we are all out of time. We'll see you back here next time. Have a great day.